This is TZGN. First up, we have the Huawei Nova 5 series teased from Huawei today in this video. So the Nova 4 was launched earlier on in the year, and the Nova 5 series is going to be very quickly upon us. So the rumors are all pointing towards a Nova 5 series of phones. So we had the Nova 4, but now with the Nova 5 series, we're going to get a Nova 5 and a Nova 5i. The I stands for a Lite version. Usually when it gets outside of China, it's called a Lite version of the phone. You've got the 710 Kirin processor from Huawei in that one. The Nova 5 looks interesting though. So the Nova 5 Lite will keep the LCD screen from the Nova 4, but the new Nova 5, according to the leaks, will get an AMOLED screen. So that's an upgrade over the Nova 4 right away. I actually really liked the LCD screen on the Nova 4. I thought for an LCD screen, it was really high quality, but obviously AMOLED is the way that every manufacturer is going these days. The fingerprint sensor on the Nova 4 was on the back, so the Nova 5 is going to move that to under the screen. The 5i or the 5 Lite will keep it on the back there. The screen size is the same for the Nova 5 as it is on the Nova 4, about 6.4 inches. Now from what I've seen and heard, it will keep the hole punch cutout design as we saw on the Nova 4. There's actually been a couple of screen protector leaks, which you can see the design at the top there has actual cutouts which look like they could be there to accommodate a pop-up camera. They look like that, but from what I've seen, it is going to keep the hole punch. We'll have to actually wait and see on that one. Pop-up designs are more and more common, especially from Oppo and Vivo and OnePlus as well. They have gone full throttle into the pop-up game. But Huawei have been really reticent to take up that technology. They've just not used it in their lineups. So you've got to think that they will keep the hole punch design for the Nova 5. The processor is an upgrade. You get a Kirin 980 chipset. The Nova 4 had a 970 chipset. As I said before, the Nova Lite will get the 710. Both of these phones will be getting triple cameras on the back. It looks a lot more similar to the Honor 20 series in terms of the design of that camera on the back there, and it's definitely different from the Nova 4. Both will have triple camera systems, but the actual camera units are different. Obviously the Nova 5 will be having a more expensive, better camera system than the Nova 5 Lite. You'll get a 48 megapixel sensor on there. Don't know for sure, but that's probably the Sony IMX586 used in a ton of Chinese phones this year. It also has a secondary camera and a depth sensor. If it's going to be the same as the Nova 4, that secondary camera will be an ultra wide camera, and then the third camera will be a depth sensor. Something pretty cool is that the Nova 5 apparently is getting 44 watt fast charging, according to this post on Weibo anyway. To put that in some context, the OnePlus 7 Pro has 30 watt warp charge, as OnePlus call it. The Xiaomi B9 has 27 watt fast charging. That seems to be around about the level for these phones, so 44 watt. That is quick. But all in all, this looks like a really good phone, and it'll probably be a decent price too, but it's a Huawei phone and we just don't know how these things are going to sell. With everything going on with Huawei, consumers are rightly justified maybe holding back, but it just looks like a really decent phone from Huawei. Moving on to two bits of Oppo news. They've been very busy registering some new design patents. The first one here is a sliding mechanism, and you can see that actually these renders put it on what looks to be a cheaper Oppo phone. The design on the back actually looks a lot like some of the mid to budget end phones that Oppo produce at the moment. But it looks like the pop-up is a way of giving a much better camera when you pop it up to take selfies with. Another patent that has just come out that Oppo have filed is for a folding phone with their zoom camera. So the patent designs you can see here are for a folding phone from Oppo, and something slightly different to the prototype that we saw earlier in the year is that they're adding their full-blown zoom camera unit into a pop-up design on the folding phone. Oppo did release some pictures of a prototype earlier in the year that was of a Oppo folding phone. It looked a little bit like the Huawei Mate X actually, with the Galaxy Fold being delayed indefinitely, and with the Huawei situation, the Mate X folding phone has definitely been delayed. It was delayed after the Galaxy Fold situation, and now with all that's going on with Huawei, it's obviously been delayed again. So Oppo might be looking at an opportunity here. They could be one of the first mainstream smartphone companies to give us a decent folding device. There are no dimensions along with that pattern that I can see, but the Oppo Reno, it's not a thin phone. It's pretty thick because of the pop-up camera, and obviously having a folding mechanism is gonna be quite thick as well. So that might be a pretty big device, but interesting nonetheless. Anyway, that is TZGN for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.